It is Thursday morning once again. Here we gather as God's people. And to you, my beloved Church of St. Andrew, I welcome you again to this Shepherd's Heart, that we can continue to see the very heart of our Good Shepherd, the Shepherd who leads us into the pastures of life, into the quiet waters of peace and security, into the very paths of righteousness for His name's sake. We are getting closer and closer to Christmas time, Christmas. The preparation becomes more and more intense. And as we gather here again, I pray that we can allow the Spirit of God to just guide us in what we are doing in everything, so that our hearts may be prepared for the great blessing of the birth of the child in a manger, and also the soon coming King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Let me read from the Gospel according to Matthew chapter 23, starting with verse 13. This is what it says. Jesus said, "But woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you shut off the kingdom of heaven from people, for you do not enter in yourselves, nor do you allow those who are entering to go in. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you devour widows' houses, and for a pretense you make long prayers. Therefore you will receive greater condemnation. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you travel around on sea and land to make one proselyte, and when he becomes one, you make him twice as much a son of hell as yourselves. Woe to you, blind guides, who say, whoever swears by the temple, that is nothing, but whoever swears by the gold of the temple is obligated. You fools and blind men, which is more important, the gold or the temple that sanctifies the gold? And whoever swears by the altar, that is nothing, but whoever swears by the offering on it, he is obligated. You blind men, which is more important, the offering or the altar that sanctifies the offering? Therefore, whoever swears by the altar swears both by the altar and by everything on it. And whoever swears by the temple swears both by the temple and by him who dwells within it. And whoever swears by heaven swears both by the throne of God and by him who sits upon it. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you tithe mint and dill and cumin, and have neglected the weightier provisions of the law, justice, mercy, and faithfulness. But these are the things you should have done without neglecting the others. You blind guides, who strain out a gnat and swallow a camel. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you clean the outside of the cup and of the dish, but inside are full of robbery and self-indulgence. You blind Pharisee, first clean the inside of the cup and of the dish, so that the outside of it may become clean also. This is the gospel of the Lord. Our reading from the Gospel today is a very challenging reading that confronts the Pharisees. But like anything in Scriptures, it does not just confront the people being addressed to at that time. It confronts you and me today. Remember that Advent is supposed to prepare us. To prepare us and allow us to make Christ the center of our lives. If you notice in the Advent wreath, the 4 candles surround the one white candle, which is to be lit on Christmas Day. That one white candle represents Jesus Christ. And Advent is supposed to be a journey to prepare us so that Christ can always be the center of our lives. We are to continually focus on His coming. Advent means coming, the coming of Christ. It talks about His threefold coming. When He first came, past, in a manger, as a baby in a manger, born to be the Savior of the world. And then it talks about His coming as King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Future, when He will restore all things, and His kingdom will be that which will be established and be seen throughout every nation. All the kingdoms will become His kingdom. And yet the third aspect of His coming is the present. He comes each day of our lives. He comes to us in the Eucharist. He comes to us when we wake up and when we lie down. He comes to us in every moment where we are most needing His presence. And this is, I believe, one of the main focus, especially today, of what Advent should bring. We should realize Christ comes to us each day. He comes to us so that we must allow ourselves to be prepared to receive Him in our lives. He comes to us so that we can know what we should be doing, how we should transform our lives, how we should change our lives by the power of His Spirit, how we should continue to line ourselves up to the things that we are supposed to be. You see, we talk about in Christianity a lot of good things: righteousness, joy, peace. We talk about love. We talk about the necessity of obedience. All of these must now be lived out. Not just something that we can talk about, or not just something that we can discuss. We are called each day to live out the life of Christ, the life of love, the life of obedience, the life of righteousness, the life of peace and joy, all the fruit of the Spirit, life of patience, especially in the day and age today where so many people are in a rush because of the holidays, the approaching holidays. Everyone wants to be able to accomplish so many things. Christ comes, and He wants us to begin to see and manifest who He really is. This is what the Gospel confronts the Pharisees about. Because the Pharisees are good talkers and teachers, but they are very, very poor people who will manifest Christ. May our life today manifest the true King who was born in Bethlehem. His name is Jesus Christ. Have a blessed day to you.